Hey, we just finished the lab 1 in last lecture, and we successfully got the root shell, which was the main aim of breaking the lab. It doesn't matter if the VM creator, the machine creator, which was the I don't remember the name. It was, I think, the Lion L0YN or I0YN, the creator. He said that you have to go to home folder. There is a file called proof.txt. You have to open that, and you will get a proof.txt code. So just send me that code. Doesn't matter. So we are not breaking the challenges. We are learning how to do penetration testing. So you successfully now know how do you work with this whole mess up. Now in this lecture I just want to talk about the journey. So I break this machine first time in my life. I don't break vulnerable machines. In this course I am specifically breaking them first time without any walkthroughs, without any videos. I'm doing it myself, and I encountered a lot, I would say a lot of mistakes, which you might have even seen in some lectures. I'm not sure. We did a lot of mistakes, and I wanna disclose some of them so that you guys can understand that ethical hacking and penetration testing, it's all about learning. No one is perfect, and especially in penetration testing, you need to Google a lot of things. You need to go and find a lot of things. So this was the website. Now, if we just go to that directory, which was something like this was the directory. Right here, we tried to brute force this using Burp Suite, but an easy method would be to brute force this using Hydra. So Hydra is a password cracker. Now the problem was that I personally use Burp Suite Pro, and this machine, I just set up this Parrot set operating system, and this is a virtual machine with very low configuration. This is on 4 GB of RAM right now. I set up this machine for teaching purposes only. So my home machine, my laptop, which I generally use personally, that has Linux installed. That runs on Kali Linux, not on ParrotSec. But I personally now think that ParrotSec is a little bit, I like ParrotSec more than Kali now. So maybe I will switch it. So I use Burp Suite for all these testing and the Burp Suite Pro. But in this session, Burp Suite Pro is more than $200 to $300, I think. It's licensed. So I thought that, yeah, students are not going to be able to afford it. So let's use the free version, and if you remember, we were not able to load that file in the Burp Suite free version. So that file, the rocu.txt, which you can see on my desktop right now, that's a very big file, and Burp Suite free version, I don't think it was able to load it. Even but I was able to load it in my home machine that is natively running on Kali. So that was a very big problem for me. The second thing was we didn't try Hydra here, because Hydra is a very powerful and a lightweight cracker, the password cracker. I'm going to show you a lot of things in this lecture. It's going to be a long lecture, by the way, so get a cup of coffee if you want and pause the video right now. Right? So I'm going to show you how to use Hydra to crack this password right here, this key. So let's add a wrong password. Let's say N. We press enter. You see, don't update. You see, it is giving us an invalid key. Now this is where Burp Suite is has a little advantage over Hydra. The advantage is sometimes the page or the login form which we are using doesn't give an error. It just refreshes, and that's where Hydra will not be able to crack the passwords, and that's the reason I don't use Hydra in my personal life. So Hydra will not be able to crack the password until we tell him that what is the error when it gets when it's a wrong scenario. I'm gonna open a terminal. I'm gonna show you how to crack it using Hydra. This is the IP address. I think I forgot a one there. So to crack it using Hydra, it's very simple. You use HYDRA. So this is the Hydra tool. Then you specify the IP address. I'm going to add the IP address here. Okay. So it's not like you only type the IP address. In a real scenario, you would like to add a website URL here. Let's say google.com, just for an example. Then you add what is the method of the page which we are trying to brute force. It is generally it is HTML form, which is either the post or the get method. So HTML form and then the post. Now this thing, if you are not sure which method it is, you can Google it, that what are the most common methods which Hydra uses or which a web application uses. Then you specify where exactly to look for, which is the page which we want to brute force, in a double quotes obviously. So we are looking at a page which is this. So without giving the base URL, just copy the page and remove the slash here. So this is the page which we want to brute force. If it was directly index.php, you will just give index.php. Oh, actually there will be a slash, I think, because we didn't give a slash in that URL. So I think there should be a slash here. So don't remove that, because it's a directory. Otherwise it will not be able to treat it as a directory. Then you add a colon and another colon. So 2 colons here, and you tell it what is the error which you get when there is a mistake. In this case it is invalid key, right? It is invalid key in our case. Then in the middle one, so between these 2 colons, you add the field where the password needs to be entered. Now you can get it easily using burp suite. Otherwise you will have to inspect the element, and here you will be able to see that name of this field is key right here. This is a type of password input and it is key here, right? Let's just close it. Okay, let's tell it that okay, the parameter here is the key. Okay, and then just use the passwords right here. So the passwords which we are going to use, just use them right here. So equal to key is going to be, and now we are going to make a password. So like PASS. So key will be equal to password, and the password is a variable. So you add it like this, 2 par signs here. Okay, so key is a variable which is called pass. This is how you define a variable. Now key is a variable which is called pass, and we are going to define you that what to try in pass. So we say -l, which is login. It's generally is the user. So I can say any user. Let's say A. This will not matter. Then you give it -p. So login and then the password. Okay. The password can be anything. I'm gonna give it a list. So I'll give it the list which is in user, and then the list will be in share. SHARA. Then there are a lot of lists. You can even use the burp suite list if you remember, but there is a dictionary list. So user share dictionaries. Otherwise there is a small one, so a Hydra small one. I'm going to use that one at this time. So there's DICT. There's a dictionary here. You can, you can just go ahead and search for the dictionaries. I already show you all the dictionaries in the last one, right? And that's all. We can just go ahead and fire it up. Let's press enter. And it says unknown service HTML form. Oh, sorry, we gave it HTML form. It is HTTP form. Some mistakes there. Because the form is made in HTML, so I by mistake type HTML, and even I explained this, right? HTTP, because this is going to work in HTTP manner, right? Just press enter now, and okay, it says okay, it is, I think it is trying, right? Yeah, it says attacking. So now we have to wait for it to find the password for us. You can even purely brute force the page, which means you are not going to give any list, but you are going to say, okay, try each and every password from this length to this length. So there are options. You can just go ahead and say hydra dash dash help. It will show you all the options. Now we are going to wait for it, and it is very, very fast. Then brute, like the burp suite, it is faster. The reason are, it is a command line tool and it is a dedicated password breaking tool. Burp Suite is a full set of tools, right? But Burp Suite Pro I think Burp Suite Pro can reach its limit as well. Okay. Oh, okay. This active. There is a problem, I think. It says okay, it's just showing me the status. Let's wait for it. It's gonna get the password soon, because that list which we specified, the words, it's not that much big list. And by the way, do you see the network graph here? You see networking 46. Okay, it's very low kb per second, but still the network graph is raising a lot, so it's creating huge amount of traffic. So basically it's showing that 56 minutes is the total estimated time to crack everything. It's gonna crack each and every password. It's gonna try each and every password in 56 minutes. So this is how you crack using Hydra. Now I'm gonna minimize this up because I would like to show you guys that how it really works. So instead of minimizing, let me open a new tab here. So I'm gonna leave Hydra on brute force. It's gonna brute force for me automatically. We know the key, so it is elite, E-L-I-T-E. We're gonna log in, and by the way, it doesn't affect Hydra at all. If you just see here, it's still cracking. You see it tried this much in that minute. This much has been tried, this much left, 53 minutes left. Okay, that's fine. Now at this form, I was saying the mistake was with me was I was saying let's try XSS. Now the thing is, XSS, cross-site scripting, it is only beneficial on a live site. Okay, let's say this is a real site and people come and visit this site, then I can say that the XSS is something which I should care for. But this is a virtual machine. Who is going to visit it? No one. It's only we and the machine. So even if we find XSS, it's not going to help us anyhow. It's total waste, right? So that's the thing that we forgot. Now the second thing was SQL injection. So while trying XSS, we tried XSS cheat sheet, and the second the second command in that cheat sheet, that contained two double like a double quote right here like this, and that break the SQL. Now when I try to add a single quote, it doesn't give any error. It says data fetched successfully, and I said let's try double quotes because that's a standard to check XSS. Instead of adding double quotes at that time in the video lecture, if you see, it doesn't work for me because I added a single quote 2 times. So just by mistake, I added a single quote 2 times, and it was a double quote right here. If you just add a double quote, it actually breaks the the SSL. Sorry, it actually breaks the SQL. So we could have just done this easy test, but by mistake I added 2 single quotes, and that doesn't break the SQL at all. I was thinking that yes, I added double quotes, but 2 times single quotes, and that's why it didn't break. Now the third mistake was with the SQL map. We were using SQL map. Now I even have that SQL map. I have that command, the request file right here. So yeah, even instead of giving the file here, we could have simply copied this thing, okay, and include that key equals, like question mark key equals elite, and then the SQL map would directly work without getting the burp request. But that's not an issue. You cannot say that that's a mistake, but that's a quick shortcut we can have even used. We don't need it burp suite, but I use that because I really like, I really do a lot of work in burp suite, so that's why. Now the home slash, I think it's on school's desktop and request.txt. So yeah, we have SQL map running here. Now we said DBS. So the mistake here was that we only checked the SETH. We forgot to check MySQL and PHP-MyAdmin. I agree, there will be nothing in information schema and performance schema. These are just schemas. There is nothing going to be there. But MySQL, PHP-MyAdmin, we said this can be a default one. This is a default database. There will be nothing. But why don't we check it? And if you just check it, let me show you. If you just say database is going to be MySQL, and you say dump, or actually let's even find the table first. You can dump it right away, but that's fine. I would like to get the tables first. In this table you have a user. When you define that table is users, and you say dump, or actually let's even find the columns. So in this column, okay, when we try to find the columns, it actually says unable to retrieve data. It just says yeah, I mean, let's just say quit here and no here, or quit here. We can simply go ahead and dump it. Okay, we can simply go ahead and dump it. When we try to dump it, yeah, it's still giving the same thing. Let's try that. Yes, it says the word list. Let's use the one. Enter the number of thread. Let's just press enter. Let's see what it finds. So we should have tried this. These are the small mistakes we have done in the whole lab. We should have done this. And I'm not saying that I don't make mistakes or anyone else make mistakes. Everyone make mistakes. Okay, it says no column found. That's fine. What we're going to do is we're going to leave the, okay, the problem was we were saying users. The table is user. So that was again a mistake. Okay, column and column, column, and actually now it gives the thing. Here is the password, and here are the user here. So you can just say -c is user and dump it, and you get the users are, the last 4 users are root and the PHP-MyAdmin in this one. And then you see the password here, and then dump it. Let me see if the usernames were password only. Right here, it's P is capital, password. That's fine. So when you just do this, it even says that it can, like, it can crack the hashes. So in the omega hash it was not able to crack it, but here it says it can crack it. That's fine, just go ahead and crack it for us, right? Just press enter and just press Y everywhere whenever it says, or actually here I would say no, because it's gonna take huge amount of time when it do suffixes. So common password suffix, you should not do that. So basically now it's gonna crack the password for us, and it's again a dictionary based attack. It's gonna take time, but I think it will not take a lot of time. So we forgot this thing. Now we have the passwords right here. So we have all the passwords as Sun Valley. Now if Sunny Valley, if you remember in the privilege escalation phase when we were watching that source code, we found the same password for the root, which was like for the username, which was root, and the Sunny Valley, right? But I tried this. This is not a SSH password. This is a MySQL password. So you can go ahead and try to log into the MySQL, right? So I even tried some methods which I would like to disclose. I even tried to create a shell using Meterpreter, and I think I already disclosed it. I went to MySQL, phpMyAdmin using these credentials. I tried to attack the shell. I uploaded the shell here. I want to show you that. I have the shell here, I think, if I didn't deleted that. If you just go to uploads, okay, sorry for this. If you just go to uploads, it says not allowed, but there is the file which I created, shell.php. I uploaded this successfully. So you see, this is the Meterpreter shell. If you are familiar with Metasploit, this is the PHP based Meterpreter shell. So I can open a connection on my machine with Metasploit, and I can get a Meterpreter session. So using that I tried, then the user which we were logged in, which we were as the user which we were getting the shell was www data. The problem is that www data has even low privileges than the Ramses. So there is the root, then comes the Ramses, then comes the www data. It was a lower level privilege. That is why I didn't include this thing in the codes. I really don't want to show you how to do this whole hard work and still get the www data. But let's say we don't have any other username. Let's say we don't have Ramses, then we would have tried this method, right? Then we would have definitely tried this method and went into the machine. Now, these were the basic mistakes that you made. I'm going to close this terminal now. And Hydra is still working. It's going to take 48 minutes more. That's a huge time, to be honest, and I just wanted to show you, but the main thing was that if you want to try and break this lab, you can try with Hydra as well. There is no need to specify a fake list. You can use a genuine list. Like in Burp Suite, we added a list which we created ourselves. There is no need of that, and that is what I wanted to show you. So in a real life, I would not go ahead and attack a machine like this. As I already mentioned when we were starting with this machine in the the ZenMap lecture, I said that there is two approaches. First is to see that is the web application which is hosted on the Apache server, is it vulnerable, and through which we got into the machine. But there was the second approach, which is to run behind those services like the Apache, which I show you. It was vulnerable to buffer overflow through malicious content headers. I think it was the content type headers. So we can do a buffer overflow and we can overflow the Apache. Through that we can become root directly because Apache might be running as root. Most probably Apache will be running as root. So we will become root in just one go. And that is a real life thing which I would do. But because this was a beginner lab, this was a totally beginner lab, I didn't want it to include buffer overflow and things like going behind the vulnerabilities and writing some scripts, writing some Python codes or C codes. I didn't want to show that, and that's why I avoided this whole thing. So if you give me this machine directly to pen test, I will just go after the Apache, which was vulnerable. I will even search for the SSH version, maybe the open SSH or whatever the version it was using. Maybe that is vulnerable. I will probably go with the version detection for the operating system. So it is using Debian 9, I think. I'm just gonna close this now. You can try this. It will definitely give you the password. I just closed it. And by the way, you can restore the password cracking just by saying /hydra.restore. Okay, /hydra.restore. I wanna show you something. If I just go and say, Omega, clearing this. Okay, no, not clearing screen. If you just see right here, this is Debian. Let's use uname -a. This is Debian 3.1.7 version of. Okay, this is a very old kind of thing, we can even run sysinfo if that works. Okay, that doesn't work. Do sys works? No. Oh, maybe sysinfo will work as root. So we can in this case we can use some softwares. Let's say the ZenMap only. ZenMap can tell us that what kind of Linux is it running. So we could even just go ahead and try to see, is this version of Linux, is this version of operating system is vulnerable, and then we can try to attack it. Or there was the RPC server running, right? And we can try to attack that server. Instead of running with the web application only, we can try to run those things. Maybe the web application is very secure. Maybe there is no SQL injection. Maybe you cannot brute force the first thing. Or maybe there is no hidden directory kind of thing. We found that hidden directory through that image. In real life scenario, I already told you that you can use directory buster, the dir buster, and you can brute force the directory, and you will definitely be able to find that hidden directory normally without watching it from image. But that will take huge amount of time and will create huge amount of traffic. And if there is a firewall, it will ban your IP address, so it will not work in real life. So probably you will not be able to hack a real website in the real life using this kind of whole stuff. So it's just a possibility. Let's say 60% chance you won't be able to hack anything like this. In such a cases, you want to use rest 40% and you want to try to run behind the services. We will be doing this in maybe in a very later lab, which will be advanced lab. We'll be doing that. For now, I would like to close the lecture for this lab, and that is how we crack the null byte 1. So thank you so much for being with me.